Oh, let's go. Hey, party people, and welcome back to Tea Talk Thursday. I am so excited about today. As you can see, I'm already laughing, I'm giddy and all that. Because my guest I've known for a very long time. We haven't seen each other. We just realized, and probably over like 10 years, she left the Philadelphia area, jump ship, and basically when she come back, she ain't got time for the little old people. I get it. When you come back, you got to see your family. My family is the same way when I visit when I go back to wherever they live. And I tell people that all the time. It is not personal that I don't visit you. My family just puts me on lockdown. They don't want me to see other people. They're selfish.
Right.
They're selfish. I tell people that they're selfish. I'm sorry. Nothing personal. But for those of you who don't know, my name is Tamika. I'm the mouth of IG at Tamika Talks, and I'm the thought leader at Life and Pumps, where I created this Tea Talk Thursday to really be an organic conversation where we share current events, things that are happening. And what I'm most excited about, my guest, of course, she is my sorority sister. Shout out to Oda Zeta. Woo, woo, woo. Is that, she is a biologist. So for those of you who know me, I am a scientist by trade. It was something that I started doing because I love tinkering. I feel like if you have a child that loves to tinker, please direct them to the STEM. Like, don't let the whole idea, oh my God, chemistry, turn them off. Don't let them do it. Kids are curious. Keep them with their curious mind and growing. But I love that even though she is a biologist, if you read the description, she is called the soap scientist. You guys know I love that because I tell people are always like, yes, biologist turned sports mom, because that's me, running up and down the fields, doing whatever. But what we're going to talk about is her business that she's created, and it's called Be-U-Tee. Isn't that cute, guys? I thought it was so cute. I love the logo, all of it. But what I love even more, besides the fact that it is about natural living and organic, because you guys know I'm pushing you guys more toward that, I love that it wasn't just, she was like, oh, I'm going to create this product and I'm going to get some people to buy it or whatever. She created this product with a purpose. So I'm going to have her introduce herself and let's get started. Go for it.
Thank you so much. First off, let me just say this is such a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to see you again. My name is Tyana. I am owner and operator of Be-U-Tee Bath and Body. We are a all-natural, vegan, plant-based product company with purpose. Like you were saying, actually, the reason for the company is that we provide soap donations to our local domestic violence centers through our products, as well as 10% of our net profits go towards the efforts of our local domestic violence centers here. So while I do create products, the bigger mission is to have an impact on the community and just do great things out here.
I absolutely love it. So walk us through, like, how'd you get started? So let's go back. So what I also need you guys to know is this girl is like, her body is amazing. And, I'm not, saying that I want to touch her or nothing. So don't get it twisted. Don't start sending me crazy messages.
It's crazy.
But she is like a bodybuilder. I wish I had a picture that I could pull up on the screen and let you guys see. So she left Philly. And how long have you been doing the whole bodybuilding thing?
I started in 2017. So it was
right. Okay, right. And so I feel like, we follow and catch up with each other on Facebook. And then one day I just saw this picture and I was like, what's that? So I need y'all to understand that not only is she beautiful, she's smart and she's strong. So don't mess with her. But talk me through this journey, because like, you're a scientist. And, I shared before what I love about chemistry, I love the tinkering and I love figuring out how things work. But it was a lonely field. Like, so many people were surprised that I was a chemist. And at first I thought it was just because they knew I was social, but then I realized that they were like, oh, you're kind of smart. And I was like, well, what you trying to say? But for me, it was the loneliness, because normally when you're in the lab, it's just you. So I would be in there talking to myself. I would play music. I would be dancing. So I kind of knew that I was going to transition into a different field. So talk me to, like, how did you get to these pivotal points that you're at right now?
Sure. So I guess I'll start way back in the way back. My undergrad degree is from Penn State. I have a Bachelor of Science in Animal Science. So originally I wanted to be a veterinarian. I've always been super conscious about nature and just loving nature and the environment and things of that nature. And then I went on to get my master's degree in biotechnology. So from there, I went into the lab. I've been in HIV research since 2008. Wow. And then I continued that when I moved here to Atlanta. So ironically enough, it kind of all comes full circle. One day I was working in the lab back in 2013. And I was doing one of my essays, routine. I do it all the time. And I came out, washed my hands, came out of the lab, washed my hands. And then I went back to my desk, went to go apply my lotion as I always do. But for some reason, it dawned on me to just check the ingredients this day. Because at that point, I've been a vegetarian since 2009. So I'm used to reading ingredients, labels, figuring out what's what. But I had never thought to read the ingredients on my lotion. Looked in there. One of the ingredients was the exact ingredient which was in the assay I was running, which required me to wear gloves. So I'm like, if I have to wear gloves to use this reagent in the lab, why am I going to go slather it all on my body? Like that, it just made no sense to me. So from there, I went back home. The little scientist mind started going.
That tinkering.
Yes, you automatically are trying to figure out the answer to something. So then I created my first jar of body butter back in 2013. And so from there, it was just something that I created for myself. I wasn't really looking to make it a business because I was fulfilled in my career at that time. And over the years, people were just like, hey, what you got? What's going on?
Exactly.
Okay, well, 2015, I started giving it out to family members and friends for Christmas presents and things like that. And then 2015, I started actually making handcrafted soap. So at that point, I said, okay, maybe we have something here. If people are actually coming for it, I'm not trying to actually put it out there. Maybe I should turn it into a business. And so 2016, I went through the process of making a legal entity, trademarked the name in 2019. And then we kind of came to this point right here. However, the key to this entire story is in 2018, I had a life-changing event, right? So a relationship that I was in ended, and I kind of found myself in this space where it was like, hey, who are you? So then actually, I woke up one night, and I had this kind of just mantra in my head. It was like Be-U-Tee. Be-you, who are you? We got to figure this out, right? And so at that point, I really started, actually, ironic thing was, Snapfish, which I hadn't used in over a decade, sent me an email with these random pictures. It was like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. I was like, I definitely haven't seen y'all.
Right.
And, it was all of these pictures from when I was like, in my teens, early 20s. And I looked at myself and I said, girl, who are you? Where did you go? Like, where? And so what I started to do was revisit some of those things that were meaningful to me. And one of those was volunteerism. Like, I come from a family of, like social justice pioneers. We were always involved in the community. My mother had us involved in the AIDS walk since we were 9. Like, we were always out there year. So one of the big things that she always had us doing was volunteering. And so I really started thinking about things that had kind of made me who I was. And my first memory on this earth is when I was 3 years old, I witnessed a domestic violence incident, which I didn't realize it until I was like 38. It severely impacted all of my relationships, friendships, how I view people, my lack of trust, my, just safety in general. And so I thought, okay, hey, we'll go ahead and volunteer at a domestic violence center here in Atlanta. And so I went ahead, made the appointment, one thing and anything about it, and went in there. I still remember the day. It was March 11th, 2019, excuse me. Went in there, sat down with the woman, and actually I have an interview with her on my site. We'll talk about that later. Sat down with her, went through the interview. She asked me about, experiences and all sorts of stuff. Came out the interview was, fine for 2 seconds, and then it just all hit me. Bawling my eyes out for like I couldn't even see my way to the car. Like it was just a rush of emotion. Like all this stuff was just coming up. I started realizing how I was affected by the, just that one incident. I never, it wasn't like it was a reoccurring thing, but just realizing how one thing can kind of set your life on fire for whatever. That turned into me having this life epiphany. For like a whole week, I was crying. I would go to work, run to my car at lunch, bawl my eyes out, come back, try and make it seem like I was okay. Everybody's like, hey, because I'm normally the upbeat.
Right.
And from there, that moment on, I said, okay, this is how I can merge my two worlds. Because I was already making soap, I was making lip balms, body balms, but I hadn't actually focused my attention on one thing. It was more of a hobby, even though
Okay.
I said it was a business. And I said, we're going to bring these two together. How can I be a positive light in the domestic violence awareness community here? Eventually, I would like to, go worldwide. Let's not even, limit myself to
Exactly. We're gonna throw that out into the universe.
yes,
Absolutely. Yes.
exactly. So then I said, okay, we're going to bring the two together. At that point I made it a point to donate 10% of our net profits to domestic violence centers here because it's biblical. And then I also host a semi-annual buy one give one soap drive every year. I just had my first inaugural one in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Right.
So during that period of time, for 2 weeks, every bar of soap that is purchased from my company, another bar of soap will be donated to a local domestic violence center.
Wow.
So actually, at the end of I say our all the time, and that comes from being a scientist. It's never
Yes.
just by yourself. It's always hey us. And it's now I've transitioned into saying hey, it's God and myself. So it's our. So then for every bar soap that was donated, we ended up ended up being 70 bars of soap during that 2 week period. And this was like without marketing or anything. This is all word of mouth. So I was like just super excited.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So that is great. So we're gonna go back some. So what I need everyone to understand, first of all, is as a scientist, when you are working in the lab, we have to wear gloves. Like it is a requirement. So we were wearing gloves before COVID, and everybody's out there wearing gloves now, guys. So part of it is because of the way these agents affect your skin. And because we're all different, it might affect everybody differently. So, i.e., you wear the gloves as a means of protection.
Yes.
So she talked about how, something just triggered in her. And I think that oftentimes that's what happens with us, with products and just things and whatever we're doing in life, is that sometimes, God might tap us on our shoulder or somebody might, give us a sign. And sometimes we listen and sometimes we don't. But she heeded to her sign, and her sign basically encouraged her to read the ingredients. Now, that's something I tell people to do all the time. And a lot of times people read the ingredients on the food, but they're not reading the ingredients on what they're putting on their skin. Meanwhile, even though our skin is thick, we're still ingesting whatever it is. So I need you guys to pay close attention to that piece. If nothing else, if you don't get nothing else from this conversation, pay attention to that. We've got to be mindful of the things that we're putting on our skin. That is why I am so excited. And I love seeing that as people, black, white, green, yellow, whatever you want to be, a lot of us are getting back to our roots because this is what our families were doing because we didn't have money to go to the store to buy that good lotion or whatever. And I just did a post about eczema. I'm working with this health company, and they're really talking about eczema and really the impact that it's having in the Black community. How, there are kids who won't go to school because of it. They're getting teased and all of that kind of stuff. And, I shared how growing up, I had really bad eczema. And my mom was making all kind of concoctions to work. Like, that's what happened. And then as I got older, it was kind of like, me being me, I'm going to go buy this from the store. Whereas really what I needed was some natural stuff to help soothe my skin. And so I love that you talk about that's really what your point was, where you realize, I need to do this. And then your people probably was like, look, her skin all pretty. Wait a minute. What are you using? Because, let's be real. That's really how it starts. Like people ask me all the time and have been doing it for years. What do you wash your face with? And for a long time, I was like, water. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't use soap on my face. I was like, I get a washcloth, I wipe it off. And this was really before I was kind of like wearing makeup. So now I do got to do a little bit more because of that. But I still use something that's natural for that reason. And I think it's important. And then even, fast forward to me being diagnosed with breast cancer, I realized that, the chemicals are carcinogens in a whole lot of stuff.
Yes.
And so that also triggered me in reading labels and really talking to people about that. So I'm going to make sure that all of you guys got that point. Now, the domestic violence piece. The sorority, we really just, expanded what we were already doing because we were seeing so many cases. I'm not sure if you read the case about the young girl. She was about to graduate and her boyfriend murdered her, like literally in front of her house, I want to say. So we've really boosted up our efforts to kind of, spread awareness and let people know where they can get help from. I love this buy one, get one. I'm sorry I missed it. Please make sure that I see it. I still have some products that I need to order. I was on the site. I couldn't decide what I wanted. I think I want that gift basket. I think that's
I saved one for you because I was like, nope, I'm gonna set this aside.
That's what I want. Okay, when we get off here, I'm ordering it. That's what I want. Because I kept going back and I was like, well, do I want to add more stuff? And I was like, no, this is what I'm getting. Perfect. That's good to know.
It's like
but what I love is that, so through a lot of organizations that I'm a part of, we donate to shelters and things of that nature. And I find that the one thing that they always talk about are beauty products.
Yes.
Because oftentimes women are fleeing their situation. They're leaving with nothing.
Everything.
Yeah. And while, yes, clothing is important, and I feel like we can kind of get clothing a lot of places, it is not always easy to find a natural product. So I always try to give the products that I use.
Yes.
A lot of times when we're donating, and it's no shade to people who go to the dollar store or who do whatever, because you're trying to get a whole lot of stuff and you're trying to make an impact. But I want you to think about, you're fleeing a situation and you're used to using whatever it is. Now they are where they are and they got to use something that just doesn't work on their skin. They're already feeling how they're feeling. There's so much that goes into that. So I want you guys to think about that when you're making donations. And I get it. Like, you're like, if I got $30, I can go to the dollar store and get 30 items. And I get that. I understand that piece. But let's take it a step further. And maybe we need to look at the impact that it has. These women are always grateful. Like, I love to see when they're like, oh my God, thank you. But let's take it a step further and try to give them things that really amplify and will beautify them. Yes. So that's why when I saw that that's what you were doing, I was like, this is great. And then you talk about how you witnessed an incident when you were 3. It is so crazy how so many of us have lived through a trauma and we have never reflected on it. We've never done anything about it. And maybe it's something that we saw in passing and no one thought it affected us, but it absolutely does. And it's an impact on why we do the things that we do now.
You have no clue how they tie together.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me what's next? So we're already going to claim that this is going to be worldwide. And I feel like you need to connect with the sorority and with your soap, with the buy one, get one, however, and whatever I can do to help you, please let me know. But on this platform, we also want to help. So let us know how we can help move your mission forward and make certain that people understand what you're doing. And it's more than just buying natural soap at this point, because it's really about, taking a stand and supporting someone. So talk to us. What can we do?
Thank you so much for offering that. First, I just want to go back to the branding piece, which you touched on, about just making women feel like they are in a safe space and they're loved and that they're naturally beautiful. That is something that I really took to heart when I was designing my products. It's built into the branding. That's why I have this smiley face U in Be-U-Tee, because I want to bring a smile on their faces in a time of transition. Not even about anything negative, but they are transitioning to a new phase of life. So for our buy one, give one soap drive, I actually have a special packaging that I donate the soaps in, which has, I don't know if you can see that, but there are positive adjectives.
Oh, look at that.
So we have like determined, independent, focused, powerful. So it's just, just to remind them, hey, you may be at this point in your life, but this isn't it. Where, you're going to a
you're in a season.
Yes. And, the smiley face is on everything.
I know. I love that.
So it's really just about uplifting spirits during that time. And like you said, ways to support. Right now, I am in this holiday rush. So anytime you purchase from Be-U-Tee Bath and Body, like I said, 10% of our net profits at the end of the year go towards supporting local domestic violence centers. And my buy one give one soap drive. My next one is going to be in March, which is Women's Month.
Women's Month, yes.
Space them out, so I have both kind of ends of the season.
Right.
So you get the springtime to take them through to summer, and then we have November, our second half of the soap drive, to take them through the winter and the holiday months. So yeah, anytime, just support by just spreading the word. I am in the process of getting my social media up. Like I now have a marketing plan. This is still brand new to me, right? I'm the scientist, so I know how to make great products. Products. I live that lifestyle. Uh, Everything that all of my products that come out are vegan. There's no honey, no animal based products. I am very conscious of that because I'm
That's
like
who you are.
I'm like 2 steps away from vegan. I just every now and again I dairy ends up in something. So I don't claim it because I know that community is like right. So that's just how I kind of just move forward with the company. Everything's vegan, natural, just things again that you wouldn't mind applying to your skin. And
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to us about this vegan journey or almost vegan journey.
I know.
So how did you get there? And so I tell people that if it was not for the fact of bacon, I could be a vegan. Like that is literally the only meat that when I smell, I'm like, yeah, I have to eat that. Like the rest of it, I'm like, I would be okay. Like I don't have to have it, but bacon.
That's it. That's so funny. I always say mine was Chick-fil-A nuggets. Like I was like, I can't. Chick-fil-A nuggets are too good. But after a while, it's just like, okay, your taste buds change. Just like you were saying, like your skin changes too based on what you're eating, what you put into it. Your taste buds start to change after a while too. So, okay, my natural journey. Like I said, I've always loved animals, always been interested in saving the environment and the planet. And one note before I forget, I am in the process of transitioning my company into being plastic free. So
I saw that. Oh, I love that. I'm all about sustainability. Yes, 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 yes. Look, you got somebody on here saying they're going to get some chicken nuggets.
I don't like they're good. I just, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. So let me see. All my life, I've loved animals, loved the environment. Then in 2003, I kind of, really, well, let me back up and say, both of my parents are health and physical education teachers. So that's been a part of our lifestyle, my sister and I. And then 2003, I decided to stop perming my hair. I started reading all of the actually scientific articles about the effects of
the lie. Yeah.
fibroids, especially in the African American women. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I'll pull back on that. And I mean, now I do a good job of holding it together. I normally
No, it looks good.
my one press out for the year. I normally have it like all curly cute or whatever. So then in 2009, as I said, I transitioned into vegetarian lifestyle. And a lot of times people ask me like, hey, how did you do it? For me, it was very slow. And I just say take it one day at a time and one item at a time, right? The first thing was I gave up pork. I wasn't a big pork eater anyway. I was like, okay, and after a while, maybe 6 months later, I realized I wasn't even craving beef like that. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
here we go. We're just in it. I really, I was always interested in vegetarianism, but it wasn't like I have to do it today, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's what I tell everybody. Same thing with working out, right? It's not about just going cold turkey. Some people can do that, but you increase your chances of being successful by just doing one item at a time. And so over a period of time, it may have taken me like a good 2 years to fully transition. Like fish was the last thing I gave up because I love sushi.
Mm.
I was like, okay, I could be a pescatarian, maybe. And then like by 2009, end of 2009, I going full out vegetarian. And the reason I say I almost darn near vegan is because I still am conscious of dairy and how it affects my body.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, people will notice when they consume dairy, they have a lot more mucus in their system. And so for me, just being an athlete, I know I realize I function better when I don't put certain things into my food.
Okay.
So that was the part of, that whole transition into natural. Now I will say there was a short period of time where I did introduce fish back into my diet when I was competing. When I was
Okay.
sustain me through those 6 hour days of being.
Yeah, because I can't imagine. So I think part of it for me, and I buy organic food. Like it's, like if I avoid restaurants who I know aren't generally farm to table. So that is like a big thing for me. And because, like I said, I know that I need to eat bacon. Like I just can't stop. I've tried, it just doesn't work. But what I will say is I think part of the issue, and I think that for a lot of people, and I feel like, maybe the tide is changing now, is that people are like, well, I don't eat beans. And I'm not a bean eater. So they're like, if you don't eat beans, what will you eat? Mm-hmm. And so what I love, how Tabitha Brown is really trying to show people, different ways to eat. Like somebody today was talking about the carrot hot dog. And I'm like, well, I'm not really a big hot dog fan. And I think for me is I don't want to make a vegetable seem like a meat. Like I want to eat the vegetable and love and experience the vegetable for what it is, not because I'm trying to make it like a hot dog or a hamburger. Sure. And I think that for me is the hang up. And I think that a lot of people get caught up in that as well. And I agree that it is all about moderation and doing what works for you. People tease me all the time and they're like, you're spending all that money buying their organic food. And I was like, well, really, I'm not, because my grocery bill has not has not really gone up any more than it normally is. It's just that I know how to stretch my food. So like we don't have to eat 20 pounds of meat. We eating 5 or whatever it is. And it's all in moderation. So I'm glad that you said that, because I do think that oftentimes everybody wants to jump right in and be like, yes, this is what I'm doing. And they're telling the world, hold me accountable and this and that. And it's like, yeah, this is a lifestyle change, not just a 30-day challenge. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people miss out on that. And especially even like now with the, with the Peloton craze, everybody's buying a Peloton and they're like, oh, just wait till the summer because they're going to all be on sale. Some people are going to be selling them because nobody's going to be riding them anymore.
I'm looking forward to getting one in the summer.
Right, I'm telling you, listen. And all like the little groups that I'm in, because, I used to bike ride. So I'm still in those groups and they're talking about, they're like, oh, don't buy one now. They're like, buy a trainer, put your bike on the trainer. They're like, but if you want one, wait till the spring. People are going to go outside and people are going to start hanging their clothes on it. And then they're going to need to sell it for the space. So just wait. It's going to be in all the yard sales. So I'm laughing and I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a craze and I hope that, it's working for people and they stick with it. For me, I'm just like, I'm not really a big indoor cyclist anyway. I prefer to be out. But yeah, I just think that, it's all in moderation. Like do what works for you. Don't feel like you got to share with the world, tell everybody what's going on. Do what works. And I feel like natural living is always a process and a journey.
Evolution.
Yes. And as you see, more companies are realizing that people want that. A lot of them are trying to get in the game and take note.
It's trendy. It is. Yes. That's one thing that I've noticed since being in this lifestyle for over a decade. Back in 2009, when I went vegetarian, I got made fun of by family, friends, coworkers. Everybody's like, oh my God, why would you do that? That's stupid. Now, everybody's like, oh my God, what are you doing? What do you eat? How do I get, what do you do that? What do you do for this? And so, while it may be trendy, it's trending up. So, that's encouraging to see that people are becoming more mindful of what they're eating, putting in their body and putting on their bodies, as well as the effects on the environment. One thing that this pandemic has taught us, in the beginning, emissions, greenhouse gas, everything had started going down because people were inside. So now that gave us a tangible, real hard look at how humans are affecting the environment. So my hope is that through all of this, while veganism and natural living and everything is trendy, that at least 25% will stick with it. It's like let's just keep the momentum going. You know what I mean? And educate at the same time, because a lot of times people just need to know, hey, it's not all about a carrot hot dog. Here are some good recipes, and you do a great job at providing people with suggestions of products and foods and stuff like that. Just showing them and educating them on here's an alternative, or here not even an alternative. Here's something just to try out.
Right.
You may not, but just be open to trying.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons why I promote Trader Joe's a lot, because I like that they're like come buy everything. If you don't like it, bring it all back.
Yes,
And
the policy is fantastic.
it really is. And they always, so every time I go there, I always end up with something new that I'd never heard of or whatever. Yeah, like this week I'm eating cranberry wrap goat cheese. Delicious. I know you don't eat dairy, but it's delicious.
I believe you though.
Oh my God, it's delicious. But I love markets. And I tell people all the time, look for markets, even if you go to a community market where they are vested in you and they want to help you succeed. And that's important. So last week, my guest, that's what we talked about. She's really big on herbs, and she was really giving them some tips and some suggestions that people can do that are just common. And, and she like lives in a neighborhood. She lives in New York. She lives in a neighborhood. She's like, look, I don't have a lot of money. I'm not from where we had a lot of money. So we had to do what made it work. And she's like, this is what I did. And so she shared like simple tips, like what you can do with a lemon. And so many people were like, I didn't know this. Oh my God. But I do think it's really about us getting back to our roots and sharing and talking with one another. And moderation, as you said, is clearly the key. But let's talk about the fact that you're going plastic free. That is so amazing. So in a lot of cities, that's what they did. They banned the use of those, what do they call it, t-shirt bags or something? I don't know. And people were in an uproar about it. And I never quite understood why they were angry. And I said, apparently you don't understand that this just ends up in a landfill. Like it does nothing. It goes nowhere. Well, and right, exactly. Right. And so like how you were saying with everyone being in the beginning with the pandemic, when we started seeing just how the earth was healing itself, people were getting it in those first couple months. Now, what happened? I don't understand.
That's normal. Everybody wants that normal back. So it's like, hey, they're fighting to get back to normal as opposed to really just taking stock of the good that was happening and riding with that.
Yeah. So talk to me about the plastic free journey. Like, what are you doing? How are you transitioning? Because, it's not always that easy.
So one of the things initially when I first started, 2015, when I started like providing products to other people, I had the standard, plastic deodorants, tubes, lip balm tubes. I still have those lip balm tubes. That's why I said I'm working on becoming plastic free. But now I'm working on sourcing containers as well as labels that are also plastic free. So like, for instance, the soap, when you receive it, it actually comes in, I'll show you the back part of it, in this craft paper.
Okay.
It is white craft paper, right? But the craft paper, the printing is actually done with plant-based inks, as opposed to most people don't realize ink actually has plastic in it. So even down to the very micro level, be mindful of that. The shipping labels now that I'm purchasing, they're also plastic free. There are companies that do plastic free stickers, which also come with plant-based inks, as opposed to your standard ink. So it could be as big as you think, or as on the micro level. Just things that I've been constantly researching on how to continue to move forward. And so let me see, even the lip balms, they come in just a tin container as opposed to a plastic jar, which I love to reuse. And let me give you one little note that something that has always been on my mind.
Okay.
Recycling, right? I know recycling has always been kind of pushed on the consumer, right? It's always been like, we have to recycle because it's your duty. As a company, I want to take responsibility for even providing you with plastics, right? So if on my end, I can cut out the work that you have to do recycle, it's a win-win for everybody. For the environment, it's less, effort that you have to do. Because right now I do recycle. I have to, separate, take it all the way to a different center to go recycle stuff. So, to kind of get out of that, let's just not even use plastics.
Right.
That's my overall goal. And like I said, I still have some containers, which I'm running through just for, because just to continue the business, I have to continue to sell.
No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, it's a process. Yeah. And it's a process because, as people are starting businesses, these are the things that people are really sharing with them. And you don't realize just the impact that it has until later. So then now you got to go back and do a lot of the changes. And I am very mindful of companies who focus on sustainability because, I'd like to leave some earth here for my grandkids when I go. And so I pay attention to that. And I think that because it is trending up, a lot of other companies are. And even like a lot of like clothing brand, you guys, I love to shop or whatever. They are really paying attention. Like, even Nordstrom, they've gone and now they're part of like the clothing sustainability compact. I'm like, really? Wow. Who would have thought? And it's because it's like, we're asking for this. We're like, we don't have to keep killing the earth. Like there are small things we can do to stop it. Water bottles, like, come on, everywhere you look, you can buy a reusable water bottle.
You definitely can.
Like when I tell you I love my Tervis bottles, love them. I buy them all the time. It keeps everything cool or hot, whichever you're using. I'm like, we don't have to keep using and buying cases of water and all of that. And I tell people, start small. Don't feel like you gotta go in your house and just detox everything. But there are some things you can do that make a difference. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's next?
What is next? So, like I said, each day is an adventure, right? It's like, so after this holiday season is over, I'm really going to just take some time, do some marketing. I've been really looking into supporting other Black businesses. So right now I'm in the process of working with a bookkeeper who is getting all of my numbers, crunching numbers, getting me together to see how I can really get a marketing plan. Because like I said, my goal is to really just get the message out there so that at the end of the day, the company can be a blessing to other people, right? So short term, our buy one, give one soap drive is going to be happening in March. Probably going to be the second week in March. I have to look at the calendar. And the thing with making soap is it takes a month to cure. So you have to kind of backdate everything to make sure. So yeah, most people don't realize that.
I had no idea.
Handcrafted soap, you make it, but then it has to cure, harden up, just so that it's a fully functioning bar of soap. Because the benefit to handcrafted soap is that it actually retains the glycerin in the process. So with a lot of soaps that are on the market, companies introduce these agents, drying agents, so that it maintains its shelf stability, so they can sit on the shelves for like 4 or 5 years without a problem. So with handcrafted soap, we don't remove that glycerin, right? So that adds an extra moisturizing component. So you'll notice that you'll be extra moisturized with handcrafted soap. So I forgot what I was talking about, but
no, that's good, because I don't know if people realize that. And because I've been buying handcrafted soap for a really long time, it doesn't last long because we use it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not hoarding it, so we're using it. Right. So I had not realized that. But what is the shelf life for handcrafted soap?
Oh, well, my soap, I normally say, because I use essential oils, I normally tell people to use it within the year, just so you can smell all that, lovely fragrance and get all the good oils. And it's also based on the oils that you use and the shelf life of those oils. So like I said, all of my stuff is vegan, plant-based. So most of my soaps are shea-based soaps. However, I do have nut-free options for everything. I offer a nut-free soap, which is it's this one. This is my free to be. So that's free to be. So, so anyone who is adverse to I don't use any fragrance. It's all essential oils. Any sort of scent that is a nut-free and unscented soap. Also, there's my Butter Me Up Body Balm is also, I offer a nut-free option for that as well. So, that's, a lot of people don't realize how much just plant-based products can add to your life, right? People are just like, they're used to the standard brands. But now it's about education and just saying, hey, these oils do this for you, right? This is super moisturizing. It doesn't contain the drying agents. So like I was saying, like my soaps last, really, I've used the bar soap from like 5 years ago, because I'm like, listen, and it's still fantastic. I'll still use it, but and you can still use it, but it's not as the essential oils aren't as fragrant.
Right, absolutely. So now let me ask you this. Like I saw a video that you had done before where you were curing the soap and all of that. Are you a team of one?
Yes, it's me. Well, me and God. It's just me. So yeah, since I moved from Philadelphia, families, everybody's still up there.
Yeah.
Just down here, you'll see me in my soap studio. I normally get off of work. I'm done at 9 to 5. I come here, I eat, I head right in there. I'm normally up. You'll see videos probably like 2 or 3 in the morning, just me in there making, stamping soap, just getting it all together. So you're asking about what's next. I am looking to just, expand my team just to bring on people to alleviate some of this. And also, what I would like to do eventually is um, start providing jobs for women in these domestic violence centers.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
financial stability is one of the factors that really plays a part in their successful transition out, right? So if I can
Mhm.
provide a job for someone, and at a company that is forward moving, progressive, and positive, and with a purpose, then I think it's just an all around win for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, because that is one of the number one reasons why a lot of women don't leave.
Yes. Yep.
And that financial hold that a lot of times
Mhm.
their partners hold on them is clearly abuse. And a lot of times people don't see it and they are afraid to take a stand. So yeah, I was going to ask you that, like, would you employ some? Yeah, I think that's great. It ties in with the mission and everything that you're doing, but I think that's great. So what I am doing this week or this month, I've been doing a video supposed to be every day on YouTube. Kind of hasn't worked out that way. Full disclosure, I was kind of in a rut. I was seeing all these pandemic numbers rise. Someone in my family had passed. Like, it was a lot going on, and I needed to kind of disconnect. And
Yeah.
so that's really what I did. But I've been doing giveaways because I feel like it's that season and
Mhm.
people need to be loved. So I want to give away three of your popular items. So I'll let you decide what they are. You can send me the invoice and I will so it may be easier if you tell me which items, and
Sure.
then I will post them to Instagram
Okay.
and YouTube and Facebook or whatever, and I'll let people know. And ideally, we'll do it to end on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll get their information and I'll send it to you, and then you can kind of put it out because I believe in your product.
Thank you so
I literally, like, I watched so many of your videos and I was so impressed. And like I said, I'm all about, I think it is great when women pivot, or people, not just women, when we pivot and find our passion. And your
much.
passion, I mean, clearly, like, bounces off the screen as you're talking about your product, the reason behind it. I think it's great that you give back,
Mhm.
which to me is amazing. And, like I said, I'm all about companies who give back not only just to a purpose or cause, but who are giving back to the environment, and you recognize the importance of this.
Mhm.
And I love hearing that basically this started from you loving animals and being an environmentalist, basically, is really what you were. Just little, we just didn't know what it was
I
called. And
know.
now you've transitioned that progress. So I absolutely love that. So for you guys out there who are watching and who will watch the replay, I'll make sure that I get pictures of what the items are going to be. I will post them. If you are interested in receiving an item, by all means, enter, let us know. I'll make it something simple. You can follow her on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, I guess, or whatever. But it will be something very simple. I'm going to make sure that I allow you all to try some of these products because she's amazing. So I know they've got to be amazing. I mean, what else would it be? So let everybody know how they can get in contact with you.
Sure. So I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook at BUT Bath and Body. That's BEUTEE Bath and Body. Website is butbathandbody.com. Try to make it easy and across the board. And then, as I said, I'm based here in Atlanta. Email is hello@butbathandbody.com.
Wonderful. Well, it has been so much fun catching up
Thank you
and
so
seeing
much.
your face other than just, in passing on
I
Instagram or
know,
Facebook or
right?
whatever. And we will definitely stay in touch. And as I stated, if you need us to share something that your company is doing, by all means, please let me know. I would love to share it out. And don't forget to send me the items, the pictures of the items, and we'll go from there. But guys, thanks for joining in. Don't forget to follow her, and I will see you all next week for Tea Talk Thursday. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.